Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be positive. I mean, after the match, I definitely was struggling in the locker room. Yeah, I think for me, the main thing, I'm sure my team and everyone's going to tell me, like, you did well at Rolling Girls. So I'm like,
What happens when a 20-year-old champion decides she will no longer tolerate being disrespected on national television? As Coco Gauff reaches a breaking point, not with a tweet or an emotional interview, but with decisive action, choosing to file a $50 million lawsuit that could reshape how sports media operates, making a move few athletes would ever consider, as she directly challenges one of the most powerful broadcasters in the industry, ESPN, with a clear message that boundaries were crossed and accountability can no longer be avoided. And when it comes to that level of accountability, it is not symbolic but significant, representing millions in damages, and a statement that respect is no longer optional but expected at the highest level of competition.
I think being an athlete, people kind of disregard that side of us, the human side of things. And, people say so many things like, number 3 in the world and you're doing this or you're playing like this and you should be better and things like that. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like I've already, if I stopped and didn't pick up a racket tomorrow, I have a career that so many people would dream of.
This is not about a questionable call in a match or routine tennis controversy. And it is not about rankings or tournament politics, but about a moment on live television where a host on Fox Sports publicly dissected the career and character of Coco Gauff in a way many viewed as unfair and deeply personal. Expecting it would pass like any other broadcast segment. Yet what followed surprised the entire sports world. Because instead of responding with a statement, an interview, or a social media post, she took a far more serious route by collecting every clip, every remark, and every damaging comment connected to the broadcast, and building a structured legal case around them, transforming what was meant to be entertainment commentary into documented evidence. And while the public assumed she would move violently or respond with composed restraint, she instead escalated the situation into a formal $50 million lawsuit that immediately placed Fox Sports under intense scrutiny as internal. Teams rushed to respond. Realizing that what they considered routine television debate had now turned into a high-stakes legal and reputational crisis with consequences far beyond the studio itself.
But I think I just showed people what it's like to be a human, and I have bad days, but I think it's more about how you get up after those bad moments and how you show up after that. And I think today I showed that I can get up after feeling the worst I've ever felt on the court.
The question was never just whether Coco Gauff had the legal right to take action, but why it took this long for an athlete at her level to finally respond in such a direct and serious way. And what exactly was said on air by a host at Fox Sports that escalated the situation into a reported $50 million lawsuit. As the incident unfolded during what was supposed to be routine coverage of the Miami Open, where analysts were expected to focus on performance breakdowns, matchups, and statistics, but instead the broadcast reportedly shifted into personal commentary that went far beyond sport, with the host questioning whether her success was genuinely earned or simply media-driven hype, casting doubt on her maturity and ability to handle professional pressure, and further implying that her achievements were exaggerated, and that she did not deserve the level of recognition she had received. A line of criticism that many viewed as crossing from analysis into personal attack. And it was this shift in tone that turned standard discussion into a wider controversy as the remarks circulated and were later compiled as part of the legal case, marking a moment that sparked intense debate about where sports commentary ends and personal defamation begins.
But I felt with a new perspective, seeing how the support I've gotten since that moment. Just seeing how proud of people are of me, regardless of how I do here. So today I felt a lot lighter going on court, and I hope to continue feeling that light weight for the rest of the time here.
Let that sink in for a moment as the situation involving Coco Gauff unfolded during a televised segment on Fox Sports, where a host, speaking to millions of viewers, questioned whether a Grand Slam champion had truly earned her success, shifting away from any technical discussion of tennis strategy, shot making, and instead targeting her credibility as an athlete. And the tone made the moment even more controversial because it came across as dismissive and almost self-satisfied. As if exposing her supposed shortcomings was the purpose of the segment rather than analyzing the sport, turning what should have been commentary into what many perceived as a personal attack, while the broadcast continued in an uneasy way with co-hosts attempting to laugh it off and steer the conversation forward. But the impact was already irreversible because the remarks had been aired live, recorded, and instantly circulated across social platforms and news discussions, spreading far beyond the original studio audience and igniting widespread debate about the boundaries of sports media commentary and the responsibility that comes with a global microphone.
Matt.
After everything that happened on Thursday night, did you wake up feeling a little differently yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I just realized that I don't want that moment to happen again, like on court for sure. And yeah, I'm not someone who, like, I don't want to show, like, I guess, weakness in moments, but after the match, I was thinking, like, maybe it's not a weakness, it's just showing the things that happen in my head and not keeping it inside to the point where I can't play.
Fans watching live immediately began recording the segment. And within minutes, clips from Fox were circulating widely across platforms like Twitter, triggering a wave of backlash as not only supporters of Coco Gauff, but also tennis fans, journalists, and casual viewers reacted strongly to what they felt crossed the line from commentary into personal targeting, especially given the context of a young black athlete who had already established herself on the biggest stages in the sport. And while the online reaction escalated quickly, Coco herself remained completely silent, choosing not to respond immediately with posts or interviews. A decision that many later interpreted as deliberate rather than reactive. And understanding the weight of what followed requires understanding her path in tennis. Because she is not simply another player reacting to criticism, but someone who has lived under global attention since her early teens, first rising into international recognition at the Wimbledon Championship in 2019, where at just 15 years old, she defeated tennis icon Venus Williams in a historic first round match that immediately placed her in the spotlight, making her one of the youngest players ever to qualify and compete at that level in modern tennis, and turning her into a global figure overnight, which is why the current legal situation is viewed as far more than a reaction to media criticism, and instead as part of a much longer story about pressure, scrutiny, and public perception built over years of competing at the highest level. And suddenly, everyone had an opinion about what Coco Gauff should do next, as her career at just 20 already included a Grand Slam title, a place inside the top 10 ranking, and a global brand built through major partnerships with companies like Nike and New Balance, alongside millions of followers, and a presence that extended far beyond tennis courts onto billboards and magazine covers, making her not just an athlete, but a commercial powerhouse. And this is what made the controversy involving Fox so significant, because her reputation is effectively her value in the modern sports economy, where sponsors invest in trust, visibility, and credibility, meaning that questioning whether her success is legitimate does not stay as casual commentary, but can directly influence contracts, endorsements, and public perception, especially when broadcast to a national audience during coverage to events like the Miami Open. And although Coco has faced criticism before about being too emotional or under too much pressure, she has usually responded through performance and composure rather than public conflict, which is why this moment felt different, since it was no longer about her results, but about her identity and legitimacy being discussed on live television, where millions shape their opinions based on perceived authority, leading her to a realization that silence no longer protected her narrative, but allowed others to define it for her. And as the clip spread across platforms like Twitter, the reaction escalated rapidly with hashtags calling for accountability, trending worldwide as fans reacted with anger, while fellow athletes, including Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka, publicly expressed support and condemned the comments. And other players shared similar experiences of being disrespected by sports media, turning what began as a single broadcast moment into a wider conversation about how athletes are portrayed, with journalists and analysts across networks, including commentary from ESPN, criticizing the framing and tone used by Fox, as the debate expanded far beyond one player or one network, while through all the noise and reaction, Coco remained completely silent, choosing not to respond immediately online. A silence that only intensified attention on what she might do next, and left the situation building towards something far more consequential than a standard media controversy. People began speculating online about whether Coco Gauff was okay, whether she was ignoring the situation or planning something bigger. But what the public didn't realize was that her silence was not inaction, but preparation, as she and her legal team were already building a formal response that eventually escalated into a $50 million lawsuit against Fox Sports and the on-air host involved, turning what many expected to be a media dispute into a full legal confrontation, with the complaint reportedly structured around three major claims, including defamation for statements alleged to have been false and damaging, emotional distress based on the tone and public nature of the remarks, and professional harm tied to the potential impact on endorsements and future career opportunities. And as legal analysts examined the filing, many noted that the case appeared significant because of the documented nature of the broadcast and the fact that every statement was preserved on video, which is often crucial in defamation proceedings, while experts explained that the valuation behind the $50 million figure was tied not to symbolism, but to projected brand value, sponsorship agreements, and long-term earnings associated with her career, making the lawsuit less about financial gain and more about accountability at scale. And as the case gained attention, Fox's legal representatives reportedly prepared for a complex defense given that the content was publicly aired and recorded. And when Coco eventually addressed the situation publicly, she did so with restraint rather than emotion, stating that she has always relied on her performance to speak for her, and emphasizing that when inaccurate narratives are spread, they do not only affect her personally, but also undermine the broader community of athletes who have earned their place through hard work and achievement. This isn't about fame or attention, and it isn't about anger or noise, just facts. And that clarity is exactly what made Coco Gauff's position even more powerful as the moment the $50 million lawsuit was filed against Fox Sports. The response inside the network reportedly shifted into crisis mode, with public relations teams releasing a carefully worded statement expressing respect for her as an athlete, while framing the on-air remarks as opinion rather than personal attack, a move widely interpreted as damage control, while the broadcaster faced immediate backlash as audiences and analysts pointed out the gap between intent impact and the host involved in the original segment went completely silent afterward with no further commentary or appearances, fueling further speculation about internal legal pressure. And in the hours that followed the original broadcast began disappearing from official platforms as editors and administrators removed from visible archives. Although by then it had already been widely downloaded and shared across social media, making it impossible to fully erase from public view, while behind the scenes legal teams for Fox reportedly moved quickly toward possible settlement discussions in an effort to contain the situation privately, though Coco's representatives instead pushed for the case to continue in public view, emphasizing that the issue was not financial gain, but accountability for statements made on a national platform. And media legal analysts noted that the case highlighted a sharp line between criticism and defamation, with many suggesting the allegations, if proven, could place the network in a vulnerable position due to the recorded nature of the segment. And as the discussion grew, it became increasingly clear that the dispute was no longer being viewed as a standard media controversy, but as a wider test of how far sports commentary can go before it becomes legally for decades. Sports media operated in a space where athletes, especially young women, were expected to absorb harsh commentary without pushback, to stay composed, smile, and move on regardless of how personal or unfair the coverage became. But the situation involving Coco Gauff marked a clear shift as her lawsuit against Fox sent a direct message to the entire industry that while performance can be analyzed, character attacks carry consequences. And the impact of that shift was immediate as networks across the media landscape began quietly reviewing internal commentary guidelines, with producers emphasizing more careful language around younger athletes, and on-air personalities adjusting their tone in real time, aware that public scrutiny had intensified, while insiders even noted a growing sense of caution among broadcasters who no longer wanted to trigger similar backlash. And at the same time, sponsors responded strongly as major partners such as Nike and New Balance publicly expressed support, framing Coco not as a source of controversy, but as an example of leadership and accountability in modern sports, which further elevated her status beyond competition into broader athlete empowerment, a development that also prompted the Women's Tennis Association to affirm a player's right to protect their reputation while reinforcing expectations for respectful media conduct, highlighting how quickly the conversation had shifted from one broadcast incident to an industry-wide reassessment. And as a result, the same remarks that were once intended as dismissive commentary ultimately contributed to amplifying her influence rather than diminishing